So I'm outside the new stadium with Spurs fan Barnaby. Barnaby, so nice to see you again.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Former presenter of Spurred On. Now today, the FA official put out a statement. Spurs are taking up the option to come to Wembley for a number of Premier League home games and home games in the group stage of the Champions League. However, it's still their intention to play their home games at White Hart Lane after the Fulham game.
Yeah.
What do you make of it?
Well, actually, we've spoken about it a little bit off camera. That's the first time I've heard that statement read out. Firstly, I think it's kind of a bit laughable that the FA have released a statement before Tottenham Hotspur have released a statement. It should be all under our control as far as I'm concerned. I know that you are on the side of that it's just a plan B and we'll still be here for the Liverpool game. For me, I think if Daniel Levy is going to spend money on an option, then that means he's pretty sure we're not going to be here in time for that Liverpool game and potentially beyond. I just can't see, knowing how frugal he is and how important it is to him to keep the purse shut most of the time, as proven by the transfer window. How is he going to be spending that money if it's not absolutely necessary? That's my opinion anyway.
Well, obviously in October we've got our first NFL game here at the new stadium.
Yeah.
The plan B again was Wembley. Surely there's got to be a plan B in place anyway, isn't there?
I think there does, but I think we're talking about a month before now. We're talking about a month. So for me, and also looking around the stadium and obviously watching you every week do your stadium reports and stuff, it doesn't look as close as I think it needs to be. For me, maybe this is just my OCD and organisational need, but I would want them to be putting the bells and whistles on now. I'd be wanting them to polish the floors. Do you know what I mean? They're not. The scaffolding's all up. There are people still doing the roof. There's, it's too far, I think. And if it were up to me, and maybe Daniel Levy feels a similar way, then I would wait until I'd say, okay, we're going to make sure it's totally done and done completely right. And if that means staying at Wembley till January, then so be it. And that's maybe why he's paid the extra money. However, on top of that, there are going to be Premier League clubs not happy about having to play at Wembley, or maybe more likely, Premier League clubs who don't have to play us at Wembley and have to play us here in the second half of the season. They'll be like, well, how come other clubs get to play at Wembley where the players are naturally going to be more motivated to play? Some Premier League players may never get another chance to play at Wembley. So for me, there are lots of these kind of unanswered questions, and that takes me back to the beginning, really, which is why I think Daniel Levy and Tottenham Hotspur should be releasing these statements and making clear to the fans exactly what's going on. It's too soon. You said it yourself. 2 weeks to go till the test event. We don't know anything.
It's 2 weeks today until the first public test event. Tottenham under 23s against Brighton under 23s. They're 2 weeks away. There has been no ticket news.
Yeah.
If we're still in this position in 2 or 3 days' time, I think I'd be very worried, because if there's no, people have got to go into a ballot. People have got to then buy the ticket. They've got to be sent out because it's a ticketed event. So a lot has got to happen, Chris, in these next 2 weeks.
Put it this way: you know what Spurs are like in terms of organisation and making sure that everything's done way in advance. Usually, it's not happening. If you ask me, it's not happening. It can't be. I can't see us playing this game against Liverpool here. And if we are, and you can call me out on this, if we are, then absolutely get on my back and say you were wrong. You didn't trust them. You didn't trust Levy to get it right. And I'm a Levy fan. I think he's great for this football club. But I just can't see that we're going to be playing Liverpool at this ground.
But how can we all not feel confident when the fixtures come out, the Premier League fixtures come out, and it was announced that we would play Liverpool here on the 15th of September?
Yeah.
Surely there was enough time then to realise there is this amount of work to do, and this is what we've got to do, and that's the time we've got to do it in.
Yeah, who knows what the variables are though? Who knows? There was the story, wasn't there, about the seats that they put in? They were all completely wrong and wouldn't have been able to handle the rain or something, or going to discolour. So they had to replace a load of seats. That's just one variable we heard about, one leak. Who knows what's really going on in there? It's a huge, incredible build. It's so difficult, and the achievement in them getting this far in such a short space of time shouldn't be underestimated, in my opinion. But if it has to take another month or another couple of months, let's say even it's another month and they want to make sure it's ready for the NFL game, to Daniel Levy, that will be a massively important thing to make sure that game isn't cancelled here, I think. So maybe that's the thought, give it another month. I don't know. I mean, like I said, because Tottenham haven't put the statement out, we don't know, we're guessing.
Why is there no statement?
I think they're potentially, in my opinion, is they're drip feeding the news. They've let the FA do it first. We got a win on Saturday. It's not a bad time to bury some bad news. Maybe Daniel Levy's statement will come soon. He usually does a summer statement after the transfer window. He hasn't done that this year either, which I'm very surprised about, because obviously a lot of fans have been annoyed about the fact we didn't spend any money, and rightly so. I think we should have freshened up. But he's a busy man, let's face it. This is his big project. This will be his legacy more than anything else. He's a busy man. Who knows what he's up to?
Now, Barnaby, they are still working 24 hours a day.
Yeah, amazing.
Even when I came here yesterday, some of these blocks weren't in. The paving has been put in the last 24 hours. There's lots of concrete being poured. They're 24 hours a day. There's a record number, 3,700 staff members here. Yeah. They are doing all they can, aren't they?
24 hours a day, that's probably only about 12 to 15 tea breaks, I would have thought.
Oh, come on.
I don't know.
Oh, come on.
I have no idea. They're doing an incredible job. And it's close. It looks amazing. It's a beautiful, beautiful place and beautiful venue. It's going to be the best thing, the best stadium around. But if it's not going to be ready, do you think we should go in a half-cocked stadium, half ready?
Let me just stop you there. Ready, complete, whatever word anyone wants to use. I think that we will be in there on the 15th of September against Liverpool.
Okay.
I was talking to one of the staff members yesterday. They believe that if it did go ahead, that a number of seats in the upper tier wouldn't be available.
Interesting.
If I was to ask you, would you prefer to go in there, play Liverpool, half a stadium, half capacity, or would you just rather go to Wembley, wait until it's all completely done?
If it were up to me and this were the choice, or if the choice was going with a half-ready, half-full stadium, or let's say wait till January, I'd wait till January. I really would. I think, do you know what we haven't discussed, and I think it will come down to is, will we get the safety certificate? If Daniel Levy today thinks we may not get that safety certificate, then that will be why he's taken up the option on Wembley, in my opinion.
Well, that's why I think that the first public test event with the ticketing, is 2 weeks away. That's why I think that is so important, because the first test event was last Saturday. That was the staff, 1,200 people in here. The second test event is this Sunday, staff again. Third test event, which would be the first public test event, which would be the Brighton game. Will you come to that?
I'd love to. Yeah, I'll be here if I can get tickets. I'll be here if it's happening, guys. I'll be there.
But the council, even yesterday, I noticed that the council have even put out, the information about, expecting a 10,000 crowd.
Yeah. Well, so far there's been no, other than I guess the announcement that we play the Fulham game at Wembley. There's been no real reason, other than what I've seen when I've come past here, to doubt that we would be in. But now it's, like I said, it's drip feeding bits and bobs of news. So the council, if we don't know, the council won't know.
Yeah.
Like the council, they'll know when they have to know, but I don't think Levy is going to be giving the news out until he's sure, and it doesn't sound to me like he's sure yet. I'm sure, but that's just my opinion. You're sure the other way, you think it'll definitely happen, but I don't know.
I just love to be negative. I just love to be positive about it all.
Yeah, no, and I'm a very positive Spurs fan as a rule, and I know nothing about construction. I have to say that as well. But for me, it just doesn't seem right. But your viewers, let Chris know what you think in the comments below. But for me, I don't want to be glass half empty. But this news coming out today doesn't sound good to me.
Barnaby, if we had to play at Wembley, the lack of signings as well, how do you think Tottenham's season will go?
Well, I don't think it'll be any different if we have to play at Wembley or not. It is hard at Wembley. Like I said before, I think that the other teams do motivate themselves. It's their cup final a bit more, etc., etc. But I think we got to grips with it. I think we're going to have a good season. I was at Newcastle on Saturday. We're not ready yet, but a lot of teams aren't ready. That was a very difficult game for a team who weren't up to match fitness, and to get a result there, I think, shows how strong we are as a group, and how determined the manager is to really drum in how important those kind of games are. I think teams around us in the top 4 and 5 will slip up at Newcastle this season. I really do. Benitez gets them organised. They conceded a couple of early goals to us, but they looked half decent. So it was a great result. I think we'll be in about 3rd or 4th place. I really do by the end. I think we could get a boost from this place if we get in there on time. We get in there early, but I don't know. It all comes back to the question, doesn't it? What is actually going on, and will we ever find that out?
Barnaby, last question.
Yeah.
I keep getting asked by everybody, what happened to Spurred On?
Yeah.
And what are you up to now?
Yeah, so Spurred On, unfortunately, a couple of years ago, we last did a video, I think, against Leverkusen in the Champions League nearly 2 years ago now. We lost funding for it, unfortunately. The reason the production value on that channel was so good and the reason we had such great talent was because we had funding. We lost that funding, unfortunately. Maybe one day it could come back, you never know, but not looking likely at the moment. And I am now, I've just started a Spurs Instagram page called Spurverts, check it out, where I'll be doing regular video content, done some stuff from here. Just today was at Newcastle at the weekend. I'll be going to as many games as I possibly can. I've got a couple of season tickets here, so I'll definitely be at the home games. Let me know if anyone's looking for a season ticket. I'm looking to sell one. But I'll be doing regular content on Instagram, so check me out, and I'll be engaging with all of you on there. And Chris, keep up the great work. You're doing a
Barnaby,
brilliant job.
thank you very much for joining me.
No problem.
Thank you very much. Come on, you Spurs.